And we welcome you to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We begin this day in the Southeast region in Warner Robins, Georgia. South Carolina and West Virginia will be the first of 4 games coming your way from this site. This site always sends a great champion to the Little League Softball World Series. Florida is the defending champion here. We have 8 states represented in the Southeast region. Alabama is here for the first time. These are 10 to 12-year-old competitors. We play a modified double elimination tournament here, which means it's double elimination until we get to the championship game. We play 6-inning games, and we have the continuous batting order where everyone on the roster knows they're coming up to bat. So overall, nationally, the champions from each of these regions advance to Greenville, North Carolina for the Little League Softball World Series. Again, last year it was the Lake Mary team in Florida that was the champion here. But these are the 8 states in the Little Leagues that represent those 8 states as their state champions that will compete for the one spot in the World Series. So I'm Sam Gore along with Brittany McKinney. Brittany, we are back, and so is this South Carolina team.
A lot of familiar names on that list. South Carolina has 8 players returning to Warner Robins this season. They made it a goal after getting knocked out last year in this regional to get back and give themselves another chance to make it to the Little League World Series. And here they are. They've made it back. Yeah,
great story and tenacity. And this South Carolina batting order, which will send 12 to the plate, is going to face a pitcher from West Virginia, Harley Abraham.
Yeah, Harley Abraham has been the go-to in the circle for West Virginia, really holding it down in the circle. Their head coach says that, you know, she's going to throw in the mid-50s, but she has a good change-up, can change speeds, and that's going to be really important for a mature South Carolina team that has experience. So look for Harley Abraham to hit the corners and change speeds quite a bit.
You know, her favorite athlete is Sophie Cunningham, so I'm waiting for the point if she strikes
yes.
out a batter.
Yes, please. An enforcer. That's what you want to see.
See, a coach was telling me that she's very emotional in the circle. Loves to get fired up. She's going to face Riley Bigler, who's one of those players that was here last year, is back as the leadoff batter this year for South Carolina. Our first pitch is hit to second base. Green picks it up and safe. Bigler beat it. Have the double base in play. The runner is going to the orange base. The fielder has to touch the white base. Let's see how this unfolded.
First pitch swinging, no nerves for Bigler. Comes out, attacks the first pitch she sees. Ava Green makes a nice play, but the speed of Bigler beats it out for the first base runner.
Yeah, infield single for Bigler. Callie Hillick, batter now. And a strike. Hillick, 12-year-old. Favorite athlete, Sophie Cunningham's teammate, Caitlin Clark.
Callie did say in her questionnaire that her secret super talent was shooting 3-pointers, so she must really like Caitlin Clark and following in her footsteps. I'd like to see her shoot a few.
Yeah, she plays on her basketball team as well. A lot of multi-sport athletes here across the 8 teams this weekend. In the dirt, ball.
Nice stop behind the plate. Paisley Hall with a lot of speed. Bigler at first base. We were watching Paisley behind the plate during warm-ups, throwing the ball down. She has got a cannon behind the plate.
Yeah, you don't want to test that arm too early. That's fouled off. Yeah, Brittany, you certainly understand that position at catcher. What's one of the things you're looking for when you see the catchers between 10 and 12 years old?
And just being able to be accurate with their throws to second base. And Paisley Hall was not only accurate, she was getting it there quickly, and you can see that her ability to move behind the plate, blocking balls up, keeping balls in front, that gives her pitcher, Harley Abraham, a ton of confidence to throw the ball. I'm excited to see her play behind the plate all week.
2-2 the count, runner on first. Top of the first inning, 4 games today in Warner Robins. And that is popped up to shallow left. Shortstop went out to make the play. Padunovac could not make the catch. And the runners advance. Runners on first and second now.
And this is a tough play for the shortstop, Lily Padunovac going back. Sun not in her favor either, but heads up play to try to get Bigler at second base, but great base running by Riley Bigler. Gets in far enough off the base where if that ball does fall, she is able to get into second base.
Yeah, the manager for West Virginia, Lou Green, going to come out and talk to our second base umpire, Brad Nelson. Again, the umpires here, volunteers. They do such a great job of volunteering their time to umpire these games. And Lou Green, a former player as well. He played college baseball for West Virginia. Was drafted, played in the Anaheim Angels organization. He's a little leaguer himself.
And I think we're going to have our first video replay challenge of the game.
So they're going to call on the field was safe at second base. We had the error by the shortstop on the catch.
And I think the first play of the game was pretty close at first base with Bigler and didn't get a review there, but now this play at second base also close. Coach wants to get another look, and you get 2 unsuccessful challenges through regulation.
That's right. If we go to extra innings, you're given 1 unsuccessful challenge. They're challenging this play at second. So here's the throw.
You know,
the runner was called safe, and was her foot on the bag when she caught it?
I think that's the question. I think the ball beats her there, but is Ava Green able to hold on to the bag? I think this play is going to have to stand, in my opinion.
So if West Virginia wins this challenge, they get to keep their challenge. If they lose it, they're down to 1 challenge for the 6 innings. Going to the challenge right away here.
Yeah, I think
top of the first.
I think Dwayne Green maybe wanted to challenge the very first play of the game, but didn't because of how early it was. And then another close play. Runner in scoring position. I think that foot just pulls off just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. You see her left foot go up, and then it doesn't appear to get down by the time Bigler's into second.
That's great base running by Bigler.
We saw her speed, the infield singles she had.
Yeah, with her on second base in scoring position, her speed, anything in the grass, she's going to be scoring. And this is a big call. You see our umpires there. They're talking to an official in a remote location who is looking over the replay and will give the final call.
Original call stands, so West Virginia has 1 challenge remaining for the 6 innings. Some of those West Virginia fans. This West Virginia team, by the way, they have a massive fan base back home. They had 2,000 fans in their semifinal and championship games to get here. So batter now, Bryn Parks. Runners on first and second. No outs. The South Carolina team that had a heartbreaking loss to Florida last year, determined to get back here, off to a good start. And it's hit to center field. Center fielder comes in charging. Nice play by Clemens to make the catch. That was hit hard.
Clemens out in center field. She is described as her coaches as a freak athlete. So anything in the air in the center field region, there's a good chance that Clemens is going to come up with that. And that ball is smoked right at her. Comes up with a nice play. Good first out for a West Virginia team that knows some nerves coming into their first regional. Getting that first out's a big deal.
Ava Ahmed, the batter now. Runner still at first and second. 1 out. Ahmed, she has turned 13. A 3-sport athlete at her school. She plays on the softball team, volleyball team, and basketball team. was hit just foul. Ava's aunt played for the same Little League and made the regional back in the early 90s. She's so many legacy players in Little League. It's been a family tradition. Tough grounder over to first. Pruitt trying to beat the runner, does. Runner's now at second and third. 2 outs. Great for West Virginia if they could get out of this without giving up a run.
It'd be huge for them to come out, put a clean inning up in the first after allowing the first 2 hitters of the inning to reach base.
Drew Austin up to bat now. Austin will be behind the plate catching defensively. Austin. That could be 2. 2 runs will score. Austin, she may stretch it into a triple. She's going for it. Austin beats the throw, and a stand-up triple for Austin to drive 2 in.
That ball was smoked off the bat of Drew Austin, and she wasted no time. Did not let this opportunity with runners on second and third pass her by. Goes after the first pitch and smoked into left center field. Easy 2 RBI for her and legs it out to a triple. South Carolina making a statement in the top of the first.
I loved watching her run, Brittany. She just has a beautiful stride. I mentioned she's a athlete in a lot of different sports. Track and field's one she may want to try out.
She got around there quick. And she wasn't stopping either. She was thinking 3 the entire way around.
Here's Lily Nix. So Austin standing on third base. 2-0 South Carolina here in the top of the first. Abraham working here with 2 outs to Nix. Good pitch.
It's a great pitch. It's a good comeback pitch. Allowing 2 runs, fall behind, and able to come back and get a strike.
Nix was a big hero in the state championship. She scored 1 of the 2 runs in that state championship. They sent her team to this Southeast Regional for the 2nd straight year. I like that South Carolina uniform. It's got a little palmetto on the sleeve.
They're sharp.
That's nice. Fouled off.
West Virginia, they had to come in with the Mountaineer colors.
Yeah. Head coach, I mentioned, played baseball for West Virginia. Had to make sure he got in a plug for their baseball team. How well they did this year.
Certainly a proud alum watching them make it to the Men's College World Series.
A nice hit, single into left. Well, that was a beautiful piece of hitting by Nix. Just waited on that pitch, and it drives the runner in. So 3-0.
I'm really impressed with what South Carolina is doing at the plate, showing patience to balls out of the zone, but even pitches in the zone, if it's the first pitch of the bat or the 5th pitch of the at-bat, if it comes in the zone, they're putting an aggressive, solid swing on it.
Hollis Durham steps into the batter's box. Another multi-sport athlete. She competes in swimming and basketball. Wants to one day be a pediatric nurse. That's going to drop. Runners will stay first and second. So a single for Hollis Durham.
And these are barrels. We're seeing a lot of barrels on the ball. Hollis Durham just stays with it, goes back up the middle. Solid hit. They're on time right now.
They're just putting the ball in the perfect spot, too.
They are.
location with the bats is excellent. Avery Moore up the bat now. South Carolina right now already 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position. That's off the hands. Moore is 5'2", 11 years old, from Simpsonville, South Carolina. This South Carolina team is, you'd say they're from the Greenville area of South Carolina if you're trying to isolate the location of where the Little League is. Right at third base. And a no throw made by Boyd. Just could not quite catch the infield fly. Went right at her glove, just dropped out. So the bases are loaded now.
And this was nearly a terrific play by Raya Boyd. Nice job to get to the ball, keep it in front, and then goes to make the throw from her knees. I think with her arm, that would have been a really close play at first base, but unfortunately the ball just kind of slips out of her hand. Lucky for West Virginia, that ball didn't go very far.
So she's charged with an error. Coach Green coming out to talk to his team to try to get them that last out here.
That's a tough error.
Yeah. It just, look at the replay, it just hit the dirt before it got into her glove. This West Virginia team's going to face the 9th batter of the inning. And look over on the South Carolina side, Zach Durham, the manager. Was here last year with this team. His daughter Hollis is on the team. In fact, that's her number 7, doing the high five. It's a determined group. Ever since they were eliminated last year, they have the goal to make it back, and they've done it.
Even at the Women's College World Series, a team that makes it to the regional for the first year, it's kind of like, you get there, you're excited to be there, you learn what it's like to be there. Then if you get another opportunity, that's when you know, it's time to win, and South Carolina has that opportunity this year, and they are coming out swinging.
Here's one of those returners from last year, Ellis Hodge up the bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs. South Carolina has exploded for 3 runs here in the top of the first. These are the 8 players that are returning this year that were here, and Warner Robins last year playing for South Carolina, so it's a veteran team. Ellis can solve a Rubik's Cube. You may have to get her to do that.
Did you bring one? Did you bring yours?
No, but I mean, you could walk across the street and buy one. I would do it just to see if she could do it. Nice pitch by Abraham.
I really like the composure in the circle by Harley Abraham, too. I mean, 3 runs given up in the top of the first inning. She hasn't changed her demeanor and is continuing to attack these hitters.
That is sliced into right field. It'll get down. 1 run scores. Here comes another. Play at the plate. Safe. So a 2 RBI single by Avery Moore. And South Carolina puts a couple more runs on the board.
And you said it, Sam. They're just putting the ball exactly where they need to. Ellis Hodge just goes with this pitch, drops right in front of Gillespie in right field. With the bases loaded, 2 runs come across. In South Carolina, it's such an advantage to have played in this tournament before, and having 8 players, you have those nerves, those butterflies that you might if this is your first time playing on the big stage.
Over to third. He got the force. There's no force. Runners keep going. So third baseman made the mistake of thinking there was a force out and then overthrew first base. And that's why South Carolina was basically able to almost empty the bases.
Yeah, this is just tough luck. You had the bases loaded, the previous hitter thinks she's doing the right thing, and as she turns around, touches third base, realizes that runners were only at first and third, no force play at third base.
So Beckett Moore made it all the way to third base. And Harper Wolf up the bat now. Wolf, another returner from last year. Foul back. Wolf, still 12 years old. Went with the classic joke of why was 6 afraid of 7?
I know this one.
Yeah, because 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. That's a good one, though.
That's good to start the day with that.
My 4-year-old is into jokes and always asking me to tell him jokes, so I'm going to come back loaded.
Oh, we've got a bunch this week. It's popped up to second base. Ava Green makes the catch. But South Carolina's bats and base runners run out to a 7-0 start as we will head to the bottom of the first. Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Excellent start for South Carolina in their first at bat, and now they'll be in the field. There's some of the South Carolina faithful making the journey here to Warner Robins. So the West Virginia team will send 12 to the plate as well, Brittany.
Yeah, and this is a team in a big hole before they even come up to bat, but they're here for a reason because this is a very good team. This is their first time here in Warner Robins, but you can't really play with the scoreboard right now. You've got to do what you've been doing to get you here, and that's getting runners on, using speed if you need to go to small ball. It's just do that because this is a South Carolina team that doesn't give up a lot of runs. Only 13 runs in the postseason given up by South Carolina. So West Virginia just needs to look to chip away, and Lily at the top of the lineup, she's the one that can get them started.
And in the circle will be Bryn Parks, number 27.
Bryn Parks, she throws about in the mid-50s, has a drop of the curve and a changeup, but she is a high IQ pitcher, really understands counts, pitch placement, what she needs to do in certain counts, and that really gives her an advantage of just her mentality in the circle. She doesn't just throw, she knows how to pitch.
They like to stick with her as long as they can in the circle. Each coach has different philosophy on how they manage those pitching staffs, but we expect to see a lot of Parks this weekend. First batter she faces is Lily Padunovac, shortstop. There's the number 13 in honor of her dad. He wore that same number when he played, and it's also her mother's July 13th birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
And her favorite celebrity is Taylor Swift, and that's her favorite number.
Ah, July 13 references here. Players fill out questionnaires for us. One of my favorite things of the year, going through 10 to 12-year-olds' thoughts on the world, and a lot of questions asking them different things. And one of the questions is, do you have any relatives that play pro sports? And Lily said, in their dreams.
She's going to hear about that one. Well, I love this patience from Lily, too. You're down 7-0 before you even pick up a bat, and she's not coming out trying to do too much. Nice patience, works it to a full count. And Bryn Parks throw a lot of pitches to start off this inning.
And a full count here, the first batter, and that's inside. And Padunovac draws the first walk of the game. Good at bat. So West Virginia right away with a runner on in this 7-0 hole.
Yeah, an immediate answer by West Virginia would be huge for them, just to answer back, even if it's just one run. Start chipping into that lead.
Well, this is the player, Mariana Clemens, that her teammates voted most likely to go pro. She grounds it to second. South Carolina unable to get the double play, but a nice play by Hicks to get the lead runner. And Clemens is on first.
Pretty smooth up the middle for South Carolina. Hicks fields this ball. Nice little flip to Bigler. Good transfer, but the speed by Clemens down the line, not able to turn the double play. Those middles work well together.
So one down, RJB Boyd up to bat now. She had a walk-off single with 2 outs and the bases loaded in their semifinal game in their state tournament to send them into the state championship game. Cut, strike. So RJB asks, what do you do when a bear charges you in the woods?
Oh, I don't know. I've heard like a brown bear, one of them, you play dead or run, I don't know.
You pay them immediately. Get it?
Yeah.
What do you do when a bear charges you in the woods? You pay them immediately.
Cash credit.
I like that one. 1-2. Waited on the pitch, and that might, it's caught. Yeah, good play by Hillock to get over there and make a play on it. You have a lot of room on this field.
This is a nice play, and South Carolina, I mentioned, has only given up 13 runs in the postseason. That comes from good pitching, but it also comes from stellar defense. So it was a nice play by Callie Hillock on a field that she's not familiar with playing on every day to make the play.
It's interesting because Warner Robins is where we are. Their local Little League is the state champion of Georgia, and they played their state championship on this field. We'll be seeing them later today. This facility is just incredible. It is better than some college Division I facilities, quite honestly. It's immaculate. Do such a great job running this event. It really feels special to all these teams that make it here. Got her! Drew Austin guns down the runner. What do you think of that catch?
Well, we saw her hit a triple in the top of this inning, showing off her arm, throwing out the Speedy Clemens to end the inning.
You can find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. And don't forget to use the hashtag LLWS. The defending champions, Florida. And it is, in fact, the same Little League representing Florida this year that won it last year, Lake Mary. They are in the next game against Georgia. game will start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're in the first game of the day, first of 4. Now with Alabama being the 8th team, there are 4 games a day for the first 2 days. South Carolina, this is the final batter in their continuous batting order, Emma Biggert. Biggert has a little sister that plays in the division below Little League. She's only 8 years old, but they had a big family weekend because Emma won the state championship for her Little League, and the next day her sister won the minors state championship.
A lot of winning going on in that family. With rivalries and competition, I'm sure, the little sister.
Emma is 12. She also has a younger sister, Olivia, who's 10. Pitch inside. Abraham in the circle for West Virginia. South Carolina scored 7 runs in their first at bat. Got through 11 batters. Good pitch.
Nice comeback. And, you know, South Carolina put up 7 runs, but 5 of those were scored with 2 outs. West Virginia was so close to getting out of that inning unscathed. South Carolina just putting the ball where there were no defenders, placing it perfectly.
Yeah, all 7 of those South Carolina runs were unearned.
Couple errors too. I think that's just the nerves, right? This is a big field, big platform, big opportunity for these teams, and South Carolina with experience, West Virginia with none. What an answer by Abraham to come back. Fell behind 3-0 to Biggert and comes back and gets a strikeout. This pitch down in the zone, gets Biggert to swing through it behind the plate. Paisley Hall does a nice job of blocking that ball up and placing the tag. Big first out for West Virginia.
First strikeout of the game for Abraham, and she'll face leadoff batter now, Riley Bigler. Bigler has just come back from a broken wrist. It was only a few weeks before their district tournament. She slipped and fell on the last day of school and broke her wrist trying to break her fall. Orthopedist said it would take 6 to 8 weeks to come back, and she said, well, what can I do to speed that up? So they put her in a softer cast. She was only in the cast for 3 weeks and took it off, and is already back here playing in the state tournament. She will pitch for them sometimes, but they're not ready to let her go on the mound yet, in the circle, I should say. But it's a great effort for her to even be here after that broken wrist.
It just shows you how much this means to these girls to be out here and represent their community, play on the big stage, have a chance to make it to the World Series. But West Virginia coming out and getting 2 quick outs.
Hillick up to bat, reached on an error in her first at bat, ended up scoring. Where's the number 23 because of her favorite player, Carlin Pickens. Sends that over to shortstop, and the catch is made by Padunovac right up in the sun. Nice catch. So West Virginia holds South Carolina scoreless. Game 1 of 4 here in the opening day of the Southeast Region games in Warner Robins, Georgia. South Carolina up 7-0. They scored all 7 of those runs in the top of the first. And South Carolina's going to make a couple of changes out in the field right now. They're going to put Harper Wolf in left field, Beckett Moore in right field. Bryn Parks will stay in the circle.
And with the continuous batting order, you can kind of play around more with your defense. You're not going to burn a player by putting him in a defensive situation in a new position. These players can move around quite a bit. I really love the continuous batting order that Little League went to a couple years ago.
So West Virginia, their second at bat. Abraham still up to bat. She was the batter that was up when Austin threw the runner out at second. It's hit over to second base. Hicks, easy grounder, picks that up, makes the play. Quickly one out.
Now, number 2, Paisley Hall.
One of the things that Lou Green, the West Virginia manager, told us yesterday was he wanted his team to not be nervous. He kind of expected them to be a little tight coming here because it was such a big deal for them to win their state tournament. Nice play by the third baseman, Callie Hillock. And so maybe that slow start was just a result of them being a little intimidated. Now they're settling in.
And I love this play by Hillock, how she moves her feet and just doesn't give up on it and go to a backhand. She moves her feet to get in front of that ball, so she's in a good position to make the throw to first base. Great play by Hillock at third.
Olivia Kish up to bat now. Kish has battled through some injuries this year, but back healthy now, playing in this region. Good pitch by Parks.
Nice changeup, changing speeds. I think young pitchers that are playing the game, develop your fastball, be able to locate it, but the very next thing you need to do is have a good off-speeder, change up. You watch any of the pitchers in the Women's College World Series, they all have elite changeups.
That was a pitch that every coach mentioned that their top pitchers in the circle are developing right now. That is sliced right field, just foul.
And that's a good piece of hitting by Olivia Kish. 1-2 count, not trying to do too much. Gets a pitch on the outer half, puts a barrel on it, just foul.
Kish's favorite sports team is the West Virginia baseball team. Oh, nice job, Parks, with the strikeout. An 8-pitch second inning for Parks. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Game 1 of 4 in our opening day of the Southeast region. South Carolina versus Virginia. I feel like I'm at an ACC-SEC challenge, Brittany, because we have Florida-Georgia coming up, Virginia-Tennessee follows that, and then North Carolina-Alabama to end play tonight.
Let me tell you what, that would be a fun February tournament like they do in basketball. I mean, basketball has it. I think ACC Big Ten may do something like that for softball, but I'll have to see it.
So I got some great rivalries here in Warner Robins. Harley Abraham still in the circle for her West Virginia team. They gave up 7 runs in the top of the first, had a very good inning the last time they faced the South Carolina Bats. Bren Parks goes after the first pitch, and third base, Boyd makes the easy play.
Last inning, starting off this inning, very efficient in the circle. It's Harley Abraham going at hitters. Nice, easy plays for her defense, and they're making them behind her. I just think getting those nerves out in the top of the first inning, now they're really starting to settle in.
Ava Ahmed up to bat now. Goes after that pitch. Ahmed, she collects shark teeth.
You live in Florida. Have you ever found a shark tooth in the wild?
Not in Florida. When I lived in North Carolina, I did.
Yeah.
On the coast there. Up the middle, that's hot, and it gets through. So Ahmed sends a screamer up the middle for the base hit.
It just takes this pitch and puts it right back where it came from. I thought Lily Podnunovac had a chance at it just under her glove, had a range a long way. A base hit for Ahmed to start off with South Carolina.
Abraham about to face Alston, who had a 2 RBI triple in her first at bat. And just had a great stride running around the bases. We asked players what they do if they win the lottery. I loved her answer. She said she would retire her parents and invest to diversify her financial portfolio.
Oh my goodness.
Donate to charity, then buy shoes and clothes, especially shoes. But
well, if somebody deserves to win the lottery, besides myself,
I mean,
of course,
I'm
I think
all
she's
for
a good
it.
one.
Yeah, who even, at 12 years old, I could not put the statement invest to diversify my financial portfolio on paper. I wouldn't even know what that meant.
Yeah, no, good for you.
Yeah, go Drew. We're pulling for you.
Not only can she just smoke the ball, she knows life.
She's a big Texas Longhorn softball fan.
She knows to cheer for good teams. 2-time defending national champions in softball.
So Austin will take her base. Runners on first and second now. And only 1 out. Lillian Nix stepping up. Had an RBI single in her first at bat as well. She was a part of that big first inning. South Carolina's 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. This may drive a run in. A bobble in center field, just enough for the runner to go. And Ahmed scores, and the runner goes down to second. Another RBI for Nix.
Again, a barrel right back up the middle. You see Ahmed coming to third. Head coach Zach Durham had initially held her at third base, but just that slight bobble was enough for her to score and advance runners to second and third.
So South Carolina up 8-0 now. Hollis Durham will be the next batter. Squared around a bunt. Just 1 out.
It wasn't necessarily a squeeze. Drew Alston at third base was not moving on the pitch. More of a safety squeeze. So you can make a play, make the defense make a play.
Good pitch from Abraham.
And showing that she can change speeds too, getting ahead. I really love her composure in the circle. From the top of the first inning, when there was a couple errors made behind her, she did not change her focus. And here getting a little trouble. Attacking hitters is ahead 0-2.
That was a good take by Durham. Yeah. Coach was telling us how fired up Abraham can get in the circle. She's been very composed.
You can hear the coaches from the West Virginia dugout pulling their infield in with runners at second and third, trying to prevent this lead to get any further. They're going to be looking to make that play at home and a ground ball to the infield.
Right back up to the pitcher. Good job by Abraham. They've sent a lot of balls, as you say, right back where it came from. That time she was able to catch it.
It's the third one, this one on a line. Abraham able to field her position well, and that's such a tough thing for a pitcher to do. Is when you release the ball, then you've got to be ready for one to come right back at you, and Abraham, no problem handling that one to get the second out.
Runners at second and third. South Carolina's added a run here, up 8-0 now. Top of the third inning. These are 6-inning games. Double elimination until we get to the championship. Winner take all. Whoever advances out of the elimination bracket into the championship, they would not have to win twice. Good job by Paisley Hall to climb upstairs and grab that pitch. Another hot day here in Georgia. That's why you don't see fans in those shots there. They're all behind the plate in the shaded areas.
And how nice is this stadium that you have shaded seating, nice covering here.
And an air-conditioned broadcast booth.
Hey.
So we have no excuse. That is going to drop. No. Catch is not made, however, and allows a run to score. Padunovac just could not make the grab, and so Austin comes home for the second time today, and the South Carolina rally continues.
I mean, Padunovac has come up close on such difficult pop flies. This one ranges a long ways, battling the sun. She is there, but just not able to keep the ball in the glove. Just tough luck there.
Yeah, that angle she was trying to track that ball down, it is right in the sun. That yellow ball in this Georgia sun. It's not a good combination. That's ripped fair. Hodge got all of that. He's going to drive in another run, and Hodge is going to third. A stand-up triple for Ellis Hodge. She's had a double and a triple already today.
How about the South Carolina team with 2 outs? In the first inning, they scored 5 of their 7 runs with 2 outs. Now Ellis Hodge, this one not back up the middle, but right down the left field foul line. And this is a big field. Olivia Cush has a long ways to go to get that ball, and Ellis Hodge is standing on third base.
So it is 11-0 West Virginia. And West Virginia basically has no more room for error right now. And I remember in Little League softball, if one team is up by 15 runs after 3 innings, the game is called. If they're up by 10 or more after 4 innings, the game is over. So West Virginia is in danger of not being able to go the distance unless they can get some runs on the scoreboard here. And they've got to find a way to get this final out to get back to bat. So it looks like West Virginia is going to make a pitching change. Or are they?
I think so. Pulling.
Let's see, so they've moving a player out to left field. Abraham is still standing there. That's the pitcher number 2. Dwayne Lou Green, the manager, talking to his infield right now, but he thought it was a pitching change, but we haven't seen Abraham leave the circle. Well, what a start by South Carolina. They could not have had a better start. so it doesn't look like they are going to make a pitching change.
We have a new left fielder.
Yeah, Jaslyn Tolliver's going out to left field.
You mentioned the heat. It's 10:50 in the morning, but the humidity's here, the heat's here. Nice little break. Abraham to get a sip of water too.
Well, you want your child to experience the teamwork and fun of Little League baseball or softball play. Visit playlittleLeague.org and enter your address to find a Little League community program near you. So again, after the visit to the circle, they change out the left fielder. Tolliver is out in left field right now. Abraham remains in the circle. 2 outs, top of the third. South Carolina up 11-0. Beckett Moore, the batter. Nickname is Bam. Yeah, she picked her jersey number because of Valerie Cagle, Clemson softball star, which would be the major university closest to this little league.
Valerie Cagle's playing professionally for the AUSL and the Carolina Blaze, and another Valerie Cagle, our team from Virginia, York County, is where Valerie Cagle played Little League. I talked to her about it the other night. She didn't know, but she is very excited to follow along.
That's a ball just up high. Beckett Moore's dad was a Little League player. He played in 3 of these regional tournaments. He also represented South Carolina when he was a kid. 3-1 the count. Runner on third. 2 outs. And that is a walk. So South Carolina still a threat on the bases. So Moore will go to first. Runner on first and third now. There's Valerie Cagle.
She's having a great season for the Carolina Blaze. She was National Player of the Year, 2-way player at Clemson. Took that program from its inception to a powerhouse nationally. One of the best players ACC has seen.
Wolf goes back to left field and it just goes foul. She stomped her feet as she was running down first when she saw it was foul.
This, she'd be running for a long time if that was about 6 inches to the right.
Wears number 12 because she was born in December, the 12th month of the year. There's a lot of jersey number stories in Warner Robins this week.
When I played, they just gave you
Yeah.
your number based on what size you wore. I love it, though.
Runners first and third. 2 outs. Big cut. 1-2. Harper Wolf is batter number 11 of the 12 in the continuous batting order for South Carolina. This is her second at bat. Outside, 2-2. South Carolina, they can hold on to this lead after 4, would win the game. West Virginia bats have got to come alive. It's popped into left field. Tolliver just came in the game, makes the catch. And so the West Virginia bats have got to get going as South Carolina is up 11-0. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Warner Robins, Georgia, host site of the Southeast region. South Carolina up a commanding 11-0 right now. Bottom of the third inning. West Virginia will come to the plate for the third time, looking to get those bats going. Bryn Parks remains in the circle for South Carolina. First of 4 games today. Florida and Georgia scheduled to come up at 1 Eastern time today. And Ava Green, the batter now for West Virginia, takes a strike. First at bat for Green today. Hopes to be a veterinarian one day. Parks has had a pretty easy time in the circle so far. Giving up a walk, 1 strikeout. So just the 7th batter she's faced.
Yeah, she's faced the minimum because Drew Alston cut down a runner trying to steal second base in the first inning. I tell you what, for a pitcher to come out with a big lead, bottom of the first inning, she had a 7-run lead. Just allows her to go right after hitters, work around the strike zone. That's exactly what she's done.
Outside with that pitch, missed it. Full count. Popped into left field, and Biggert goes over and makes the play. A new left fielder. Gets the first part out of the inning.
Full count, goes up in the zone. Green just gets under it, but nice play in left field by Biggert as she makes her debut in left field today.
There's Jaslyn Tolliver, featured nurse one day in Logan, West Virginia, where this Little League is located. Says her dad is her role model. He's a carpenter, Chris. Mom is pharmacy technician. Video game player. Right back up to Parks, bobbled it, recovers, makes the throw, got her. Good recovery by Parks. Tolliver has speed.
Good composure too, gets this ball in on the hands of Tolliver, right back to her. Tough hop at the end, doesn't panic, picks up the ball with her bare hand. So important to make this play, and does get Tolliver out by just half a step. Close play, good composure by Bryn Parks fielding her position.
So 2 down, nobody on. Gillespie the batter. Gillespie a utility player for this West Virginia team. They move her all over the place. She could pitch, catch, plays infield, outfield. Said her favorite saying is from her hitting instructor: confidence is key. So she needs to bring that confidence to the plate right now.
I mean, it really is. If you're confident in really whatever you're doing, even if you have to fake that confidence, that is the mentality you want stepping into the box.
Good pitch by Parks. West Virginia looking for a rally, just something to spark the offense. Hit to second. Hicks picks it up. And that's it. Another 1-2-3 inning for South Carolina. Parks has retired 8 straight. The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. West Virginia making a change in the circle as we head to the top of the fourth inning. South Carolina up 11-0. Looks like Olivia Kish will be the next pitcher for West Virginia.
Olivia Kish, she's going to throw in the mid-50s, has good command over her fastball, but also has a curveball and a changeup to go along with it. You see her favorite athlete is Montana Fouts, and if you're a pitcher, that is a great pitcher to emulate. The All-American from Alabama, currently playing in the ASL with the Utah Talons. You see Montana there. I mean, a lot of great players have come through Alabama, but Montana Fouts certainly towards the top of that list, if not #1 pitcher coming through Alabama.
The first batter she will face is Emma Biggert. Biggert right off the end of the bat. Here's the first, underhand over to second. Nice D.
We've seen some really good defense on both sides. This ball hit to Macy Pruitt, pulls her off the bag, heads up play by Ava Green to get there, locate the bag, and be ready for the good toss to get the first out of the inning.
Pruitt, number 24, over there at first base. Strike. Leadoff batter Riley Bigler, 1 for 2 today with a single. And after that,
there's a lot of movement on that pitch, down movement. It's like that ball starts in the zone. Bigler picks it up, gets it a swing, but it falls right off the table. Kish ahead 0-2.
and inside to Bigler. Bigler also a volleyball player when she's not playing softball. She's 5'2", 12 years old. She has her dad tie her shoes as her good luck superstition before a game.
Nice pitch.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah, they're still tied.
She's going to have to find someone else to do it, though, when she goes to college. You know, I don't think Dad will go with her.
I hope not.
Her mom was a softball player, actually wore number 6. High pop fly. It's in a tough spot. Center fielder runs over to make the catch. Did she grab it? Yes, Clemens held on to it. Give her some style points.
An incredible play by Clemens in center field. They told us that she was a freak athlete. I mean, look where she is when she first contact. Gets to the ball in right field, tips off her glove, sticks with it, secures it with 2 hands. I mean, come on. What a play.
I think she meant to do that. She's showing off.
She needed to. Okay, okay. Hey, if you can do it, might as well. What a play.
That was nice.
She was in right field when she made that ball. She came a long ways, and then to stick with it. I don't know. I didn't think we'd see the best play of the week in game 1, but that's certainly number 1.
Callie Hillick up to bat now. 2 outs. Just rips out into left field. A clean single. First single of the day for Hillick. That felt good. One of those returners from last year's team. First hit given up by Kish. Bryn Parks stepping up to the plate now.
Nice
Didn't
pitch.
bite on it.
Change up to start off that bat to Bryn Parks. Has a lot of power. Just missing with the change up there.
Yeah, good discipline from Parks until she wanted to swing.
I wanted to swing from here.
Up
Way
high.
out in front.
Parks is a future Italian speaker. She's learning Italian right now on Duolingo. So 3-0 now to Bryn Parks. Parks, the pitcher for South Carolina. He's done a masterful job in the circle today in this opening game. Game starting today. The championship will be next Wednesday on ESPN. We send a team to the Little League Softball World Series. 3-1. Walk. Parks will trot down to first. Runners now at first and second with 2 outs. So first game of the day, and temperature climbing, a little breeze blowing into out to right field. Ava Ahmed up to bat. Gets away from the catcher. Runner will try to run to third and does. So the runners advance off that pitch, and now it's second and third.
That was a good job by Paisley Hall behind the plate to keep that in front of her. Just bounces off to the side and heads up base running by Hillick to take the next base, and Bryn Parks following behind them to second.
Inside, another ball. Kish in the circle for the first time today. Abraham had been pitching up until this inning. It's the critical inning for West Virginia as they're down 11-0. They'll have one more at bat to try to get the score to under 10 runs, or South Carolina will have their opening win. Ahmed waiting on the pitch. Up high, 2-2. Or excuse me, 3-1.
Tries to go back-to-back changeups. A lot of confidence in that pitch. Threw it for a strike on 2-0. Tries to go back to it, just floats it a little high.
Ahmed crushes it at second base. Adkins picks it up and makes the throw. So the game comes down to the next at bat for West Virginia as South Carolina up 11-0. Fantastic start by South Carolina so far. They got 7 runs in their first at bat and then added to it in their last at bat as well. West Virginia has just had a tough time hitting Bryn Parks.
Yeah, and I'm most impressed with over half of their runs. 6 of them scored with 2 outs. And you see Harley Abraham's line, just 1 earned run. And I really just attribute that to some nerves on defense. Your first time in regionals, playing on the big stage, that first inning, just a little shaky. And they've settled in since, and I expect to see them settled in throughout here. But now they need to get 2 runs across to keep this game going.
And they're in the bottom of their continuous batting order. This is batters 10, 11, and 12. Evelyn Adkins up to bat now. Adkins is only 4 feet 8 tall, so she's the shortest batter they've faced, and that actually can work to her advantage.
It certainly can. But she put a big swing on that ball right there.
Apparently she's a really good golfer.
How's your golf game?
Pretty non-existent right now. Tough to find that strike zone against Adkins.
And West Virginia needs base runners any way they can get them. Need the 2 runs to continue playing.
Good job by Adkins drawing the base. So again, the score's 11-0. West Virginia has to score 2 runs in this inning to keep the game going. Macy Pruitt running out to the batter's box now. Pruitt, a self-taught piano player. She actually plays piano in her home church. Self-taught piano player is impressive.
That is. I think, to me, playing any instrument is impressive, but to be able to teach yourself.
Throw down to first, not in time. Runner gets back easy. That's Adkins down there, the base runner. Pruitt at bat is the first baseman. She can hit for power. She is strategically placed down in the 11th spot in this order. Again, we have the continuous batting order in Little League, so everybody that is here is coming up to bat. Coaches will treat the way they place players differently. That's it right back up to Parks. She throws to first, doubles up the runner, heads up play by the pitcher, 2 out right away.
That's just tough luck for West Virginia. Ball hit on the nose by Macy Pruitt, right back up the middle. Great play by Parks, no hesitation, knew exactly where she was going to go if the ball was hit to her in the air, and doubles off Evelyn Adkins at first base.
So the game coming down to Ashanti Hairston. She is just the 12th batter of the game for West Virginia. And smashes that into right field. West Virginia will stay alive for now. Hairston rounds first, goes to second. She's going to try to stretch it into a triple. And makes it. Clutch.
How about this for Ashanti Hairston? This is her first year playing competitive softball. Down to their last out, she sees the first pitch of her at bat, her first pitch of this regional, puts it down the right field line, keeps her team alive with a triple with 2 outs. What a great job by Ashanti Hairston.
Just the first hit given up by Parks today. And that is foul. Dunovac, the leadoff hitter in the batting order for West Virginia. When we started the game, this is just her second at bat. She drew a walk in her first at bat. 2 outs. Game is over if South Carolina can get this 3rd out. And they do. Parks makes the grab. And South Carolina run rules West Virginia. scored 7 runs in the top of the first and really never looked back.
This is a South Carolina team with 8 players who played in this regional last year, set a goal after that regional to be back here, and they came out firing from the first inning. Great job in the circle by Bryn Parks. West Virginia gets 1 game under their belt. I'm sure they're going to be settled in as we move forward, and these teams continue to represent their communities. Game 1 from Warner Robins goes to South Carolina in a big way.
So our first of 4 games is in the history books. South Carolina will play the winner of the Florida-Georgia game tomorrow at 4 Eastern time. And West Virginia will play the loser of the Florida-Georgia game tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Again, you can afford to lose this first game and you're coming back the next day to play. So nice, both teams in the circle having a post-game prayer, but it is South Carolina, Brittany, that just looks so strong to dominate this first game.
There were no nerves out of the gate for South Carolina. They came out looking like a team that wants to play in Greenville at the end of this.
So we'll be back with you at 1 Eastern for Georgia and Florida here in the Southeast region.